Brian, where's Duke? Where's Duke at, man?
Duke at home. Duke at home, Frank.
Oh, okay.
Duke at home, man. I'm telling you. I miss that little guy, though. He's running
Colleagues,
around
I
everywhere.
want to remind you that we are recording.
All right, thank you. I will now call the meeting to order. Thank you for your patience. We'll have the city town clerk take the roll.
Davis,
Present.
Douglas,
Here.
Hurt,
Present.
Rodriguez,
Present.
Singh, Rodriguez,
Here.
Roth,
Here.
Kupo,
Here.
Decker,
Present.
Festa,
Here.
Haywood, Antunes,
Here.
Santana,
Here.
Costa, Santiago, Crespo,
Presente.
Ortiz,
Here.
Dakota, Edwards,
Here.
Clyburn,
Here.
Winter,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Walker Myers,
Here.
Hamilton,
Present.
Marshawn,
Here.
Raheem,
Present.
Furlow,
Here.
Marks, Wingate,
Present.
Smith.
Sorry, Marks is here.
I would like to note for the red at order from Ward 5 has joined us as well. A quorum has been established. We'll now have divine guidance by order from Ward 8.
Thank you, Madam President. Honorable colleagues, I'd like to take an opportunity this evening to talk to you a little bit about my grandmother. My grandma was born Christina Loria. She was the youngest of her 8 brothers and sisters and the daughter of Italian immigrants who settled on Adeline Street in the Hill. She was born during the Great Depression and she grew up very poor. She never finished high school and she had to work as a seamstress to help her mother put food on the table. She married my grandpa, John Kupo, and spent most of her adult life caring for his parents while raising her 3 children. I knew her as Grandma Kupo. She was known to many as Tina. At that point, she was a longtime resident of Quinnipiac Avenue. She was a devout Catholic who attended Mass twice a week. Her religion was a cornerstone of her identity. But she had a reputation for being hot-headed. She never hesitated to share her opinions on the world with everyone around her, no matter how uncouth. My grandma grew up in an insulated Italian-American community. I didn't fully comprehend the assumptions she made about people who didn't look like her until I was in high school. I remember how painful it was to realize that, and how sometimes it was difficult to have conversations with her. But over time, and with a lot of love, I believe that she learned that her immigrant experience was not unlike the difficulties and discrimination immigrants face today. But most importantly, that the injustices she faced as an Italian American did not absolve her of responsibility to treat others with care, with love, and respect, no matter how different they were. My grandma Kupo ago was one of the most important people in my life. And she is the proudest connection I have to my Italian American heritage. She was the matriarch of my family, and she passed away in 2015, and I have missed her every day since. Since the Columbus statue was removed from Worcester Square, I've been reflecting a lot on losing her. I've wondered what conversations we might be having right now if she were alive. While I'm sure we would disagree on things, I know that we would listen to each other and we'd take care to approach one another with love, respect, and an open heart. Thank you, Madam President.
Mr. Majority Leader?
Thank you, Madam President. I move approval of the Journal of the June 1st, 2020 Board of Alders meeting.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask UC in item number 1 from the tax collector submitting an order of tax refunds July 6, 2020.
Anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? I pass, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under unanimous consent, I ask UC on the following items. 2, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Gerald D. Dalecki Jr. for assistance with tax account number 0616156. 3, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Cecil Boyce for assistance with tax accounts 501-855, 639, 088, 655-291, and 55742. 4, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Centrisa Bryant for assistance with tax accounts numbers 909-643, 639-419, and 655-640. 5, order of the Board of Alders approving a request of Edgar Diaz for assistance with tax account numbers 063580, 911-586, 911-588, 911-589, 911-590, 911-591, 928-797, 928-798, 928-799, 928-800, 928-801, 639-419, and 655-640. 6, order of the Board of Alders approving a request of Lakaya Furlow for assistance with tax accounts number 678-431, 695-296, 713-166, and 729-015. 7, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Helena Lathrop for assistance with tax account numbers 732-071 and 748-745. 8, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Carol Livingston for assistance with tax accounts numbers 781-473, 781-439, 797-438, and 797-439. 9, order the Board of Alders approving the request of Jamel Morrison for assistance with tax accounts numbers 898-917 and 898-918. 10, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Dennis Sanders for assistance with tax accounts numbers 95982, 962-463, and 96902. 11, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Pedro Santiago for assistance with tax account numbers 0939221, 0962569, and 096327. 12, order of the Board of Alders approving the request of Neisha Gaddison on her motor vehicle tax account numbers 893791, 859738, and 69291. That's it.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent on any of the items? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the items.
Second.
The items have been moved in second discussion. I call on order from 16.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to speak on items 2 through 12. My predecessor had established a precedence where anybody who was willing to pay the taxes in full, we would be able to provide some assistance by waiving the interest. So we're going to be doing that for items 3 to 12, and we're going to receive the full taxes of each and every one of those constituents. Thank you. I yield back.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under unanimous consent, I ask UC in item number 13 from Alder Walker Myers, submitting an order creating a working group on section 12 and a half and section 12 and 1/4 and related ordinances.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask UC in item number 14 from Alder Walker Myers, submitting an order creating a working group regarding the provision of advanced life-saving services in the city of New Haven.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask UC in item number 15 from Alders Brackeen and Walker Myers, submitting a resolution declaring racism as a public health crisis in the city of New Haven.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask UC in item number 16 from Alder Walker Myers. Did I read that one already?
No.
No.
My
All
apologies.
right.
UC, item number 16, I ask unanimous consent from Alder Walker Myers, Alder Brackeen, submitting an order creating a working group to recommend appropriate actions regarding racism as a public health issue in New Haven.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passed. Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask UC and item number 17 from Alders Winter, Saban, Roth, Brackeen, and others, submitting a resolution of the New Haven Board of Alders urging the New Haven delegation to the General Assembly to end gerrymandering related to incarcerated residents.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 21.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution calls on members of the New Haven State Delegation to act in their special session to end the practice of prison gerrymandering, which threatens to continue reducing the political representation of Black and brown urban centers over the next decade. Connecticut continues to draw state legislative districts by counting incarcerated people as part of the population of the towns where they are imprisoned rather than their hometowns. So if an individual from New Haven is imprisoned in Cheshire, when the state redraws legislative districts in 2021, that individual will count towards the population of Cheshire, not New Haven. The legislative redistricting process begins February 15th, 2021. That means if the state doesn't act now to correct this historic injustice in its upcoming special session, prison gerrymandering will continue to reduce political representation for Black and brown urban centers like New Haven for another decade. That's why it's so important that we urge all members of the New Haven delegation to raise legislation in special session to end prison gerrymandering. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask UC and item number 18, City Services and Environmental Policy Favorable, resolution of the New Haven Board of Alders urging the New Haven delegation to the General Assembly to safeguard the right to vote by amending the criteria for applying for absentee ballot.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. On Thursday, June 4th, 2020, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend this item. We are urging the Connecticut General Assembly to safeguard constituents' right to vote by allowing all voters the option to vote by absentee ballot in the general elections in November. This is a continuation of what we are doing now for the primaries, where residents receive an application to apply for a ballot with no excuse. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this resolution. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 7.
Thank you, Madam President. I join my colleague from Ward 10 in encouraging my colleagues to vote in support of this resolution, encouraging the state legislature to expand the definition of who can vote absentee in the November 3rd general election. Under the governor's May 20th executive order, all registered Democrats and Republicans, as my colleague said, can vote absentee in the primary due to COVID-19. However, the governor does not have the authority to issue an executive order covering the general election. Therefore, we need the legislature to act to make this change. This change is critical because no one should have to choose between their health and their right to vote. Additionally, while I appreciate all the efforts our registrar's office is making to make polling places safe from a public health perspective, I have serious concerns that many of the polling places cannot safely and efficiently handle large volume of people who will vote in our high stakes presidential election in November while maintaining social distancing of 6 feet. Enabling anyone who chooses to vote absentee to do so will importantly take the pressure off of our polling places, enabling them to better handle the volume. While luckily COVID numbers are low in Connecticut right now, we have no idea what they will be like come November, as we see much of the nation spiking in COVID cases right now. So we have to plan ahead. So I encourage my colleagues to support this resolution. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask UCN item number 19, tax abatement favorable, order concerning real property taxes of Juan Marcano on his motor vehicle tax account numbers 546452, 546453, 546454, 546455, 546456, and 546457.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order for 16.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to explain that Mr. Marcano came before the committee and we listened to his argument. He does need assistance with his taxes and with interest. There was enough evidence for him to get a partial pardon, but the rest he will be paying out of pocket. So out of the total, he's going to be paying $400 in taxes. And then the rest, we were able to look at police reports and other recommendations from the committee to forgive them. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. And just as a point of order, we remind colleagues to keep their audio on mute unless they are speaking. Thank you again, Madam President. I ask UCN item number 20 from the Director of Health submitting a resolution authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to apply for and accept a building local organizational capacity grant to respond to COVID-19 in the amount of $100,000 from the National Association of County and City Health Officials to prevent the transmission of COVID-19 and to execute, acknowledge, implement, and deliver any and all documents as may be considered necessary or appropriate with respect thereto.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent?
Yes.
Okay, so unanimous consent has been denied, so I will move it to a communication. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask for UCN item number 21 from the Director of Health submitting a resolution to accept and execute any necessary documents to receive the $214,096 COVID-19 CARES Act award, including any awarded increases to fund approved services for people living with HIV and in the allocation percentages established by the Ryan White Planning Council.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I note for the record communications 22 through 43, bringing us to Livable City Initiative 44. From the Executive Director of Livable City Initiative submitting an order approving the dispositions of 0 Dixwell Avenue, MBP 292-0390-03100 to a Columbus House Incorporated for $2,000. 324 West Division Street to Columbus House Incorporated for $1,000.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 21.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to amend the beginning of the first sentence of the last paragraph of the order to read, This order will expire and be of no further force and effect 24 months from the date of passage of this order.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
The amendment has been moved. Second. Discussion on the amendment only. I call on order from Ward 21.
Thank you, Madam President. Since this project will take place over 2 years, it needs a 2-year effective period. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on the amendment only? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? We're now back to the item as amended. Any further discussion? Call on order from Ward 21.
Thank you, Madam President. Through this order, the city will enable Columbus House, in partnership with the Yale School of Architecture's Block House program, to build 2 units of deeply affordable rental housing and 1 affordable home ownership unit for a first-time homebuyer. A majority of residents on the block, along with the neighborhood management team, support the proposal, which puts 2 city-owned parcels back on the tax rolls and beautifies the neighborhood by removing an enormous, decades-old trash heap. Some neighbors have raised concerns regarding the impact on parking on the block. To allay these concerns, an easement will be granted to provide the adjacent property with access to a shared driveway. In addition, I have committed to looking into a neighborhood parking zone for the block. This project will strengthen the block, the neighborhood, and the city. I urge my colleagues to support. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I note first readings, items 45 through 49, bringing us to second readings, item 50, community development favorable, from the Development Administrator submitting an order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven, accepting the conveyance of land from the state of Connecticut and approving a development and land disposition agreement among the City of New Haven, the New Haven Parking Authority, and WE 101 College Street LLC for the disposition and development of 101 College Street together with all ancillary documents as required to implement the project.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. We've heard plenty about how the new 10-story building will improve the local economy. Economy impact will be billions in the city and region, thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of permanent positions, a huge boost to growing
One
life.
second, order. One second. You have an amendment to this item?
Yes, I do have an amendment, but the amendment, Madam President, will go after me.
Oh, if that's how you want it, okay, go proceed. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, there is an amendment to this item. Where was I at? Growing life science section. Now I want to talk about the historical community benefit package. $500,000 to start for community funds in New Haven Works. $200,000 of that into scholarships for the Hill and the White students to study bioscience at Gateway Community College or Southern. Mentoring and scholarships in architecture, construction, and engineering. Innovating workforce pipeline to get New Haven students hired once they graduate. Supporting services pipeline to connect city residents with jobs at the building and support in trade professions. We have community buildings agreement before, but this one raised the bar. Hopefully we have more like this in the future. I urge your support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I'll call on from Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, I'm moving an amendment to this item before us.
Second.
Second.
The amendment has been moved second. Discussion on the amendment only.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment has several parts which reflect the further evolution of the project's Community Development Committee vote. I've been in discussion with city staff, my fellow alders in the area, leadership, and the developer about these changes. And I'm pleased to recommend them this evening. Let me first note that the changes made by the Community Development Committee amendment remain in place, except as follows. The term of free occupancy for the classroom remains at 10 years as per Mr. Winstelli's request. The workforce partner agreement has been provided as informational. It was executed earlier today by Winstanley and New Haven Works. As noted by the Developers Council, the outside entities identified in the draft language are not formal parties to this DLDA. However, to make sure their commitments are carried forward, the revised language compels the city to implement the innovation workforce and the ACE mentoring programs. Other changes in my amendment provide for scale down downtown crossing phase 3. Because the bids for this work came in over budget, the city proposed to modify and phase the scope of work in a manner that satisfies the terms and conditions of the DLDA and also sets up a future phase of work. These scope changes can be seen in updated exhibits provided to the board. The exhibits illustrate the work to be done on South Frontage Road and MLK Boulevard, as well as construction of a landscape infield area east where Temple Street will be in the future. Key provisions include the detour route has been changed. Instead of taking land to realign South Frontage Road temporarily, the city proposed to reopen the now closed section of Columbus Avenue to the vacant Church Street South. The infield will be carried out either by the developer or by the city, depending on final design and coordination of work. This is an important, highly visible corner which needs to be well designed in the next 3 months. To account for this late addition to the project, the city proposed to add $500,000 to the contingency line, and the developer proposes to make a $200,000 contribution. Additional steps would be constructed to assess the plaza, and these would be in the public right of way. Finally, I offer technical changes that need to be made to the DLTA, including the definition of affiliate was made at the developer's request. The definition of streetscape improvements was made, including a new exhibit E that includes such additional streetscape improvements proposed through design coordination. A limitation on some of the remedies the developer can seek in the case of city or parking authority default. Limitation on the obligation of the parking authority regarding obtaining consent for the pedestrian bridge connecting the Temple Medical Garage to the 101 College Street parcel, all added at the request of the New Haven Parking Authority. Changes were made to Exhibit G, the project schedule, to fill in dates that were left blank or need to be corrected, as well as Exhibit H, the critical milestone to correct a typographical error. Timing of public financing. Due to the aggressive schedule of this project, the city was concerned that some of the grant agreements for public financing would not be in place at the time of closing. The developer has agreed to limit the city's financial exposure to completing the critical milestone on Exhibit H, for which we have budget in place and existing capital accounts, and then move forward into construction. All these changes are in the documents provided to our colleagues. I urge colleagues to support this amendment and the changes I have described. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on amendment only? I call an order from Ward 4. Discussion on the
I'm
amendment only.
sorry, Madam President. I'm going to be hopefully speaking on
Okay.
the project.
Okay, that's fine. So any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Excuse
Any
me.
abstentions? The amendment, we're now back to the item as amended. Discussion on the item as amended. I will now call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say thank you to all the colleagues and all the administration who worked very hard on this particular item. It took a lot to pull this together. And I just want to say thank you to the colleagues for asking really good, hard questions and the administration with the late hours. Thank you so much.
I will now call on order from Ward 7.
Thank you, Madam President. I support this agreement, which is for a project in my ward. It's taking an empty space which divides downtown from the Hill neighborhood and is enabling a building to be located there with public space inside and outside, which will physically and functionally help connect downtown the Hill. My walk to work goes from downtown to Cedar Street, so every day I see how 100 College Street has begun to stitch together these two neighborhoods. 101 College Street will significantly boost this important effort. Moreover, we all know it's critical to expand New Haven's economy and tax base. This building will help do that, both by adding to the grand list and enabling business growth in the biosciences, where there is so much potential in our city. At the hearing on this project, we heard speaker after speaker talk about New Haven's critical need for more lab space for the bioscience companies looking to grow and hire in New Haven. This building provides that space. It also provides many other benefits, as my colleagues from Ward 29 and Ward 3 described, including construction jobs, jobs calling on a wide range of skill sets once the building is up and running, pipeline training programs for the life sciences, classroom space for New Haven teachers and students. And it provides public green space for everyone to enjoy, again, connecting downtown with the Hill, where there currently are just busy roads and empty space, bringing no economic value to the city. I encourage my colleagues to support this proposal. Thank you.
I will now call on order from Ward 4.
Thank you, Madam President. Honorable colleagues, I ask your approval on this project. When Mr. Michael Piscatelli, the City Economic Development Administrator, showed the, I'm so sorry. When Mr. Michael Piscatelli, the City Economic Development Administrator, showed the Elkis Manfredi architects illustrations of the 101 College Street project in a community meeting at John Daniels Interdistrict School of International Communications, my hope in our Hill neighborhood's livelihood enhanced. Bioscience is very important to the future of New Haven, but New Haven has so much to offer to bioscience developers as well. Mr. Carter Winstanley, one of the top developers in the field of bioscience, saw this and he chose New Haven. He develops great buildings that will remain longer than many of us will ever live, and where great relationships in the field of life sciences will solidify. And it is significant to state that many of our New Haven science stakeholders, such as Yale, have also desired his expertise. He, along with other stakeholders, will bring the illustrations of the Manfredi illustrations to life in the Hill and in the Hill to Downtown project and share its greatness with our families. The development includes laboratories, biotechnology, and sciences, and it will bring to life Winstanley's expertise on lab incubator programs, telecommunications, and data. Along with the community, city administration, colleges and university academia, and his subcontractors, New Haven will continue to excel in the sciences and impact our lives directly, not only in the state of Connecticut, in the region, and in the nation. And in a community benefits agreement, the that the Hill Alders and the community management teams and others agreed upon, 101 College Street will have a relationship with the city and directly to the Hill neighborhood. It is my hope that Mr. Winstanley and all stakeholders will commit to solidifying a community partnership that will always benefit our children and families via employment, education and training opportunities, educational scholarships, and health enhancement and financial economic security for the city. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call an order from Ward 6.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand in support of this item. I was proud to work with my community and all of the other Hill Alders to see this project come to life. The community benefits from a process where everyone, from the developer to the Alders to the residents, got to state their priorities and their needs. I hope it's the blueprint for development in the Hill in the future. The 101 College Street project will have a classroom for New Haven Public School students who are interested in the biotech field. I'm excited that our students in the Hill, downtown, and Dwight area will have an opportunity to learn and explore careers in biotech field. This agreement will benefit our communities for years to come. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to thank the developer and Stanley and all the various city departments that worked to bring this to a successful project, especially the economic development team. This project shows when departments work together as a team, great things can be achieved for this city. A development of this magnitude is a huge positive impact for New Haven. It will change the landscape for the 21st century for New Haven. This project will reconnect Hill to downtown as it should. With a construction job from various construction trade, hopefully our New Haven residents will be benefit from this job. I just want to say thank you to my honorable colleagues that worked endlessly on this project to make it a successful project. I urge my honorable colleagues to vote on this project. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. I call on order from Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm very proud to stand in support of this item. 101 College Street Agreement is a great victory in this Board of Alders' long campaign to secure access to good jobs for New Haven residents, in particular, those residents of our neighborhoods of need, like the Hill and Dwight. It's been one of our greatest legislative priorities for years. This project is projected to create several hundred permanent jobs at all skill levels. The developer has agreed to create a community fund and jobs pipeline so that the city can work alongside New Haven Works to make sure that many of these jobs go to our people in our city who are qualified, who are ready to work, and who need them the most. I commend the city and Winstanley for working with the Board of Alders to make this vision for jobs for our neighborhoods of need a reality. New Haven is in a jobs crisis. It's been that way for a long time. It didn't get that way overnight, and we aren't going to solve it overnight. But when developers and the community join in partnership, as happened with this development, we come up with solutions and a blueprint for the future. We come up with a path where all our neighbors have the opportunity to make a path, a part in prosperity. I'm especially proud of my fellow colleagues in the Hill who represent with me. Also, I want to thank the leadership and my colleagues, Alder Abby Roth and Alder Frank Douglas. We heard from our communities loud and clear what their priorities were, and we helped make it happen. I know that this can be a start of a beautiful thing to come for the Hill. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under second readings, we go to item
51.
Yep, I'm sorry, my screen blanked out. 51, legislation favorable, zoning ordinance, text amendment for green ordinances and standards for public plazas and commercial developments in the BD3 zone.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 9.
Thank you, Madam President. The Legislation Committee met on Thursday, May 28th to hear this item, and we would like to recommend it favorably. The item is intended to encourage the life science and biotech business sectors while encouraging sustainable development and accessible public space. In the public hearing for this item, an issue came up that we would like to address with a few small technical amendments. So I will yield the floor to my colleague from the Legislation Committee to move those amendments. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion?
Yes,
Okay, I call on order from Ward 13.
thank you, Madam President. I move to amend the item as follows. 1, removing subsection 3.A-1, and 2, in sections 3.D-1, 3.D-2, and 3.D-3 for a 1-year 6-hour storm to a 2-year 6-hour storm. Thank you.
The amendment has been moved in second. Discussion on the amendment only. I call on order Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. These subsections pertain to requirements for retention of runoff from rainwater. Based on the questions raised during the Legislation Committee hearing, City Plan staff recommended these text amendments. Removing subsection 3.A-1 is because the volume of runoff required here is about the same or less than what the city already requires elsewhere in the Code of Ordinances. We want developers to go above and beyond what is already required. In addition, changing the storm in sections 3.D-1 and 3.D-2 and 3.D-3 for similar reasons. A 2-year 6-hour storm is consistent with the storm event already required elsewhere in the ordinances. I urge my colleagues to support the amendments. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the amendment only? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're now back to the item as amended. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 9.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand in support of the item as amended. The BD3 zoning district was created specifically to encourage the development of the city's commercial life science and biotech sector. However, commercial lab buildings have need for larger floor spaces than many other types of buildings. I suspect this will be even more true as those sectors reimagine what lab space needs to look like in the age of COVID-19. This zoning amendment encourages sustainable building standards and the creation of urban public spaces, which will be incentivized by increasing the floor to area ratio from 6 to 8 in the BD3 district. The sustainable building standards include green building practices and to mitigate stormwater impacts. The other requirement is for privately owned open space, urban plazas that will be open to the public, not just tenants or visitors of the building. This amendment allows floor area ratio in BD3 up to 8 by the developer obtaining bonus points for green building practices in urban plazas. Essentially, it allows for larger biotech buildings if the developers are willing to commit to sustainable development and open space. Biotech has been central to New Haven's vision of economic development for a long time. It holds the promise of adding to our tax base and adding jobs, both in biotech itself and in critical support roles. However, we need to take care that whatever benefits biotech brings to New Haven are accessible to all. I'm very sensitive to where in our city the BD3 district is located. It's between downtown and the Hill. This area needs sustainable development. The Hill is one of the neighborhoods where people are most likely to fall victim to asthma and pollution and other negative externalities associated with unsustainable development. And we also need these buildings to be genuinely open to the community. We cannot have a situation where the Hill is being developed with a bunch of buildings that feel like gated communities that exclude the people who live there. We will need to remain vigilant around individual developments to make sure that they're meeting these goals. But I believe this zoning text amendment sets forth a promising framework for the BD3 zoning district, and I urge my colleagues to support. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. As I said in the committee meeting, I wanted to note that this zoning amendment comes with a favorable recommendation from the City Plan Commission. I also wanted to thank the City Plan staff for their creative work, for their dedication and hard work. Under a new director and a new deputy director, we've already seen some innovative and creative attempts to update and modernize our zoning code. And I look forward to more of these efforts in the years to come. I join with my colleagues who've already spoken to urge colleagues to support the zoning text amendment. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, this is the ordinance amendment. We'll have the city council take the roll.
Dave,
Yes.
Douglas, Hurt,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Kupo,
Yes.
Decker,
Yes.
Festa,
Yes.
Haywood, Antunes,
Yes.
Santana,
yes,
Acosta, Santiago, Crespo,
Yes.
Ortiz, Dakota,
Yes.
Yes. Edwards,
Yes.
Clyburn,
Yes.
Winter,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Walker Myers,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Marshawn,
Yes.
Rakeem,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Marks,
yes,
Wingate,
Yes.
Smith.
Is there anyone who hasn't voted, wishing to vote? Is there anyone
Yes.
who has voted?
Yes.
Okay, we have it.
Alder Douglas, Ward 2, yes.
We have it. Thank you. Is there anyone who have voted wishing to change your vote? Seeing none, the item passed. Ms. Major Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under second readings, I move item 52, public safety, favorable. A, order to read and file the communication from Alder Winter, Furlow, Brackeen, Antune, Saban, Roth, Edwards, submitting an order calling for a public hearing on city lighting policy. And B, order to read and file the communication from Alder Festa, submitting an order calling for a public hearing to discuss the current status of crime in the city, particularly the recent increase in shootings.
Second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion. I call on, wait, I can't see, I'm sorry. Discussion, I call on order for Ward 12.
Thank you, Madam President. The Public Safety Committee held its informative hearing on May 19th. We were assisted by the city engineer and the director of traffic and parking. Everyone agrees that street lighting needs to improve, both for the prevention of crimes as well as traffic and pedestrian accidents. They are working with Public Works and Parks on the transition to LED lighting and reducing the glare. Some of the new lighting is not bright enough and they are being replaced. Tree trimming is also a considerable issue there and being addressed. I urge your support. On item B, the police chief joined us for this discussion. He said the department is having some success with reducing the 18% spike in violent shootings and violent crimes between 2018 and 2019. Crime usually increases in the summer months, according to the chief. This year, it's also important to monitor the pandemic prison releases. As always, we are working to get the Shot Spotter program expanded to more areas of the city. This program is effective, but it is expensive. I urge your support on both of these items.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 53, tax abatement favorable, order deferring collection of real property taxes due from Stephanie P. Consiglio on her residence for grand list of 2018 and 2019.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion. Call on order from Ward 16.
Basically, this person certainly meets the criteria for her to get a tax abatement, so we're going to certainly abide by it, and we're going to go ahead and grant it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. The 54 motions to discharge, I move A, from the Chair of the Aldermanic Affairs Committee submitting a motion to discharge the Aldermanic Affairs Committee from consideration of the order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the mayor's appointment of Susan Lamar to the Board of Library Directors to fill the term of Alexander Sopaso ending January 1, 2021, and to take it up for immediate action.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion on the motion to discharge only. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Unfortunately, there is not enough time to have a first and second reading as the time allowed by the charter will expire. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on motion to discharge only? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item has been discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Do I hear a second? The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Based on the information received during the Aldermanic Affairs Committee on Monday, June 22nd, we favorably recommend Susan Lamar be appointed to the Board of Library Directors. Ms. Lamar is a CPA and has a skill set this board needs to fill the treasury position. I urge my colleagues to vote and approve this appointment. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under motions to discharge, I move B from the Chair of the Aldermanic Affairs Committee, submitting a motion to discharge the Aldermanic Affairs Committee for consideration of the order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the mayor's appointment of Tracy Mears to the Board of Police Commissioners and to take the item up for immediate action.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion on the motion to discharge only. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Unfortunately, there is not enough time between the first and second readings as the time allowed by the charter will expire before they get approved. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on the motion to discharge only? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item is discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Based on the information received during the Aldermanic Affairs Committee on Monday, June 22nd, we favorably recommend Tracy Mears be appointed to the Board of Police Commissioners. Ms. Mears is a nationally recognized expert on policing in urban communities. She will be an incredible asset to this board. And in speaking with her and other colleagues have address similar enthusiasm with her as well, based on the fact that she is so knowledgeable in a lot of aspects. And I think that she will be a great asset to the Board of Police Commissioners. And I urge my colleagues to vote and approve the appointment. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under motions to discharge, I move item C from the chair. A Finance Committee submitting a motion to discharge the Finance Committee from consideration of the communication from the Chief Operating Officer of New Haven Public Schools submitting for the July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2023 collective bargaining agreement between the New Haven Board of Education and the School Administrators Association of New Haven Incorporated, and to take it up for immediate action.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion on a motion to discharge only. I call order from Ward 24.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance Committee heard this item on June 8th and took no action at that time. Given the tight time frame involved, I request that colleagues support a motion to discharge this item so that the full board can vote on it this evening. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on motion to discharge only? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item is discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 24.
Thank you, Madam President. This request is to approve a collective bargaining agreement between the Board of Education and the School Administrators Association. This agreement goes from July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2023. It provides annual wage increase of 2.25% and a step increase to employees with salaries below the top step. The combined pay increase averages 2.62% per year. Employee contributions to healthcare premiums increased by 2 percentage points over the life of the contract, from 17.0% currently, from 15.0% currently to 17.0% in fiscal year 2020. 22-23. This agreement eliminates a sick leave payout at death or retirement and post-retirement medical benefits for all new members of the bargaining unit hired after 6/30/2020. I ask colleagues to support this motion to approve this agreement. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
There's a hand up, Madam
Aye.
President.
Yeah, so you're abstaining?
No, I had raised my hand for discussion. I think you just
Oh.
didn't see it. I'm sorry, Madam President.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Okay,
Can I make my comment?
well, we already started voting.
I raised my hand when you asked for discussion. I raised it immediately after the chair spoke, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you speak this time because this computer that I'm on kept shifting people. But once we start voting, you got to get in there somehow before we start actually voting. But I'll let you say what you have to say, and then we'll continue on.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. I very much appreciate the hard work of our 111 school administrators covered by this contract, particularly as they are dealing with the unprecedented situation created by COVID-19. However, the economic impact of COVID-19 is critical to take into account as we vote on this contract, which it's important to note was agreed to in January 2020, before the impact of COVID-19 was felt in Connecticut. At the Finance Committee hearing, the CFO, Mr. Penn, said that this is the education's second biggest contract with a value of $15.8 million per year for the 111 people covered. If you do the math, that means each person has a compensation package of just over $142,000. At a time when so many of our constituents in the private and nonprofit sector have lost their jobs, seen salary cuts, are experiencing salary freezes, and are struggling to keep their businesses afloat, I can't support a contract that gives administrators with six-figure compensation packages a raise this fiscal year, costing the city more than $400,000 this year and $1.25 million over 3 years. I appreciate that over the 3 years of the contract, members who have health savings accounts will go from contributing 15 to 17% of the healthcare costs, but it's highly unlikely that will come close to offsetting the salary increases. Basically, if someone had $20,000 in healthcare expenses, in 3 years, they'll be contributing $400 more than they are now. And again, while the post-employment benefits will save the city money, that is a very far time off. We'll need all 111 current employees to turn over and then the replacements to turn over. And what we do today also is important because it sets a precedent. There are 7 contracts that expired on June 30th, 2020, I believe. And others, such as for the lawyers, are similarly for people with relatively high salaries. By approving this, we make it hard for the city to negotiate with others that others should have flat salaries this fiscal year, even though that's what's happening across the private sector nationwide, and again, for so many of our constituents. So as much as I wish I could support this, I can't support this agreement given the current economic conditions. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, right? Nobody hand up, down, nothing, right? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any abstentions? Item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under motions to discharge, I move item D from the co-chair of the joint CD Health and Human Services Committee submitting a motion to discharge the joint CD and Health and Human Services Committee from consideration of the order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven, approving a substantial amendment to the City of New Haven's 2019 through 2020 Annual Action Plan Statement of Activities for Acceptance of Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES Act funds, and to take it up for immediate action.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion on the motion to discharge only. I call on order from Ward 26. All right, no discussion on the motion to discharge? All right, all in favor of discharging the item, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item has been discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. This is also a time-sensitive type corona situation that we're moving forward today. There's 9 categories, and hopefully, I get the colleague support.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under 55, motion to amend, I move from Alder Crespo submitting a motion to amend LM-2019-0657 in order of the Board of Alders previously adopted on December 16, 2019, forgiving the tax and interest due from Troy Moore on his motor vehicle tax account numbers 83102390227 and 85235, and extending the period to pay the taxes to July 30, 2020.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Moore just needed an additional time frame, given the scenario that he was facing. So we were able to grant that, and he'll go ahead and pay the taxes by July 30th, 2020. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? The item passed. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? The item passed. Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I note items 56 through 60, A and B. I move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the board.
Excuse me, Mr. Majority Leader. We're gonna do to item, hold on 1 second.
50, then we need to move 60.
Okay, we're gonna do up to item 59, and then we need to actually move 60. As a unanimous consent? As a motion, but is the second reading motion to amend?
No.
Oh, okay. You got it, Mr. Majority Leader?
I believe so, Madam President.
Okay.
So we are still under our suspension agenda.
Yep.
And I am noting items 56 through 59, which I assume are communications.
Yes.
I have it listed here. So I am going to go to item number 60, motion to amend matter previously adopted. And I move items A and B. Order concerning real property taxes of Jean Santino on her motor vehicle tax account number 704146, extending the expiration date to July 31, 2020. And B, order concerning real property taxes of Peter Santino on his motor vehicle tax account number 737410, extending the expiration date to July 31, 2020.
Second.
Item's been moved in second. Discussion. Wait a minute. Do I see something? I call on order from 16.
Thank you, Madam President. This matter pretty much needs an extension for another scenario that both Mr. and Mrs. Santino were facing. And so we're just going to extend it to the 31st of July. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. So I believe now I will move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders.
Second.
The item has moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I would just like to say, I want to thank everybody for their patience tonight. Anything and everything that could have went wrong, but everyone remained patient and we got through it. So I appreciate that. And I will now take points of personal privilege. I call on order from Ward 30.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like for us to have a moment of silence for our very own Alberta Gibbs, who had just lost her sister today. And I ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. President, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I will now call on order from Ward 2.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to thank Karen King for bringing us into light of a community, the Yale Community Fund, which was able to grant us. When I say us, I'm talking about the Dwight, Edgewood, and West Rivers neighborhoods, a small grant of $10,000, which we purchased PPE equipment for the COVID-19 pandemic issue that we've been having. And we were able to purchase 5,000 masks and 180 $25 gift cards, which we dispersed to some of our residents. And I'd like to thank Alder Taisha Walker, President Alder Taisha Walker Myers, and my colleague Alder Yvette Hamilton for the assistance in getting those items out to our residents. It's a number of people that really assisted in helping us get this done, but the list is just too long, but I want to thank everyone that participated. We still have a few to give out, but thank you very much.
Are there any more points of personal privilege?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good night,
Aye.
everyone. Thank you again, and
New
stay
Year.
safe.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
night.
Everyone. Try
Good
to
night.
do this.
Thank you all.
What I got is just pressing.
Yes, you can just say.